Are you in a relationship with someone's potential? There was a time when I did not realize I was in love with an idea, not the person standing in front of me, not the reality of how they showed up, but the version of them I believed they could become. I saw their potential, who they could be if they just healed a little more, if they tried a little harder, if they chose differently, if circumstances shifted. And because I could see that version so clearly, I held on longer than I should have. Potential is not a promise. Potential is powerful. It allows us to see beyond the present moment. It helps us believe in growth, transformation, and possibility. But potential is not a guarantee. It is not a commitment. It is not a plan. And it is certainly not a substitute for consistent action. When we build a relationship around potential, we are often attaching ourselves to a future that may never arrive. And in the meantime, we ignore what is actually happening right now. I had to get honest with myself. There were moments when I knew something was not right. The consistency, the lack of follow through, the feeling that I was giving more than I was receiving. But I justified it. I told myself they were going through something. Those things would change, that I just needed to be patient. And if I'm being honest, part of me believed that if I loved them enough, supported them enough, showed up enough, I could help them become that version I saw. But love does not create change, choice does. And that was a difficult truth to accept. You cannot love someone into who they could be. This was one of the hardest lessons for me. You cannot do the work for someone else. You cannot force growth. You cannot carry potential into reality on your own. People change when they choose to change, not when they are encouraged, pushed, or supported into it. And while support can help, it cannot replace personal responsibility. When we take on the role of trying to help someone reach their potential, we often lose ourselves in the process. Reality always reveals itself. At some point, what is real becomes impossible to ignore. Patterns repeat, promises remain unfulfilled. The gap between words and actions become clear. And that is where the real question appears. Are you in a relationship with who this person is or who you hope they will become? Because those are two very different things. One is grounded in reality, the other is rooted in possibility. And only one of them is something you can build a life on. Loving someone should not cost you yourself. When you stay attached to someone's potential, you often begin to compromise your own needs. You accept less than you deserve. You lower your expectations. You silence your intuition, all in the hope that things will change. But your needs matter now. Your peace matters now. Your well being cannot be placed on hold for a future that is uncertain. Healthy relationships are built on what exists today, not what might exist someday. Choose presence over possibility. There is nothing wrong with believing in people, but belief should be supported by action. Growth should be visible. Effort should be consistent. Change should be chosen. When those things are present, potential becomes something real. But when they are not, potential remains just that, potential. Choosing to see what is actually in front of you allows you to make decisions that are grounded, clear, and aligned with your values. And that clarity protects you. You deserve what is real. You deserve consistency. You deserve effort. You deserve someone who meets you where you are, not someone you have to wait for. Letting go of potential does not mean giving up on love. It means choosing a version of love that is real, present, and mutual. And that kind of love does not require you to imagine it. It shows up. Slay reflection. S. See the reality. Are you focusing more on who someone could be than who they are right now? L. Look at the patterns. Do their actions consistently match the potential you see in them? A. Acknowledge your needs. What are you currently accepting that does not align with what you truly need? Why? Your next step. What would change if you chose reality over potential in this relationship? Call to action. Join the conversation. I'd love to hear from you. Have you realized you were holding on to someone's potential instead of their reality? What helped you shift? Share your story in the comments. Let's cheer each other on. And if you know someone who might need this reminder, send this to them. Sometimes all we need is a nudge. I'm Carrie Genzel, reading a blog from stateofslay.com. Slay on.